wore this shirt on our last fucking podcast episode. That's super shitty of me.
Yeah, you sure did. You just told the whole world, too, that you're dirty fucking ready. Go.
I mean, I've washed it since. Ooh, here we go. Good day, ma'ams and sirs, and welcome to the Number 9 with Tommy podcast. Number Niners, if this new format doesn't work out, you have my most sincere apology. I wanted to try this, and I hope it doesn't negatively affect the show's quality. I hope it doesn't cost us a listener that the other system had previously gotten me. I hope it doesn't stink like Tommy's breath or a rotten cheese. You'll see how we roll up any topic into a discussion on equality. Are we also going to announce even more county fair dates? Probably. This episode, we're going to be talking about a topic that's often forgotten about. One that causes deep thoughts, enhanced emotions, and cotton mouth. I don't want to hurt a pair of ears on a Karen by saying it too bluntly, but the budding topic on this show is like food for thought because it'll give you the munchies. So sit back, grab your zigzags and a Bic pack, and if we get too far into the weeds, take a quick nap. Now, with the pleasure of a baked stoner about to eat a Snickers bar, I introduce to you my co-pilot, who makes me think I'm about to need a bigger car. We're a couple of damn good friends, but he's so out of shape that his camera's going to need a wider camera lens. Damn it, I fucked up my rhyme. Tommy fucking Washington, how are you, man? What's been up?
God damn, bro.
First if I could just go back, we're a couple of damn good friends, but he's so out of shape he's going to need a wider camera lens. There you go. That was the rhyme. Fuck you.
What I don't understand is why you said I had bad breath. I don't get it.
That's your problem. Here's why. Because it fucking set up my scheme to make a rhyme that ended with rotten cheese.
That's not nice. It's not nice to say untrue things.
You're often the target of my rhyme because it helps the rhyme develop.
It's awfully rude of you. Just saying. It hurts my feelings.
Using random people.
It hurts my feelings. Anyway, what's up, man? What a busy day I had today. Fucking busy.
Second Armit's already in the chat. Fired up. Woohooing. Let's go in. Haha, well done, sirin. Second Armit, welcome to the show.
Second Armit. How you been, buddy? Long time no talk.
Yeah, we've been talking to Second Armit all fucking day.
That's a true story. True fucking story.
I think it's super fucked up. Earlier today, Tom, you asked me how something looked for the upcoming fairs, which now have literally doubled, if not better. So we're still doing the Harwinton Fair. We're still doing the Riverton Fair. Tom, what have we added to the list?
We are 99% sure we will be at the very least the Goshen Fair Labor Day weekend in Goshen, Connecticut.
That's a big one.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest fairs in the state. Second Army got the call yesterday. So it looks like we got a couple weeks here and we'll be starting our fair debut. There might be another one that has yet to confirm. But pretty exciting shit.
So to that point, you're making some banners for our booth.
True story.
Now, before you made these banners, you came to my house. I showed you I was working on this new format that we're going to get into today. We're going to go long form on one topic on Sundays. That's the plan. And have our typical off the wall, just derailed train track, useless fucking episode on Wednesday still. But we're going to go deep into something on Sunday because I have time to do a little research. So I've put in tons of work, and you send this fucking banner. And I'm like, hey, could you do this? And you're like, give me some fucking time, man. I'm the only one working. I was like, this son of a bitch, man. He knows for a fact that I've been working all fucking morning on this. I fucking ran down to Thomaston. I played a fucking game of tennis. I fucking jetted home and started working on this. I haven't showered since I played tennis in fucking 90 degrees earlier.
Oh, so who's the one with the bad breath now?
Well, I did brush my teeth in the morning. I showered before I went and played tennis. Tommy, good news. I'm almost done with the second episode that's going to be long form. So we need feedback if you guys like the way we do this episode today. If not, we'll scrap it and we'll just do it the way we normally do it.
Yeah, we definitely need feedback. I think I want to get back into it. It probably won't be this week. and it definitely won't be next Sunday. I'm not 100% sure that there's going to be a show next Sunday. We might do it during the week this week and pre-record it, not do it live. So Second Army won't hear it, but because I'm going away next weekend. So I definitely want to get back into the email blast. That we used to do. We used to do the recaps and send them out and shit.
I mean, you could email blast the same thing that we're putting on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it'd be a good thing to, send a link for the Am I the Asshole if it's a video we're watching, or send a story in it. And obviously get news out there about the upcoming fairs, Second Armament, anything that we have going on. I think it was a good thing. Just time consuming. We got away.
The Second Armament said, "Seems like a great episode so far. Don't fuck it up."
Yep, we've been there. Yeah, so I think we're gonna get back into that. Also, coming up around the corner here, I'll be working on it this week. The football pools. We're gonna send out the links for all that. I'll send it out as an email blast again to everybody. But we'll have links on our website and all that stuff, so you guys can sign up for it. So if you listen, you want to do the football pool again, we're doing $6 a week for the Survivor pool, so $108 for the season, $30, or that's for the Pick'em League, $30 for the Survivor pool, $5 goes to the podcast, $25 straight to the pot, and $5 a week to the pot, $1 to the podcast for the Pick'em League. Yeah, pretty excited about that. And what else we got going on, Pat? Fuck, man, so many things.
I mean, this Pick'em League, as much as I understand that we created this thing and everything, should you not do that and follow that on laying 9.5?
Griff and I have talked about that, so we can. But since this is the show where it originated, we can briefly cover it on here. I think we would go more in depth. Before we used to do a lot of football on the show. I think with 9.5, we're going to end up doing most of the football talk. You and I, though, talk about football, so we can always do our little segment for it.
Yeah.
But I think it's more so going to be in the lane 9.5. If you guys haven't listened to it yet, lane 9.5, we dropped our second episode on Thursday. It was, I believe. Nope, Friday. We dropped it Friday. And the third episode will be coming out someday this week. We're not really sure yet. Once the season starts for football, we will be doing the shows on Tuesdays, so they'll be dropping on Wednesdays. We figured that's a good day to do it because it gives us, if we're doing straight bets if we're doing straight bets on just the games, we can do them on Tuesdays. Prop bets you can only do on Saturdays, but nobody's going to listen to the show before Sunday, so the prop bets ain't going to matter. I think what we're going to do is get heavy into the Twitter game for the prop bets and stuff like that. And we'll be, like, as Griff and I make picks, we'll just tweet out our picks. And we'll do like 3 or 4 of them.
Second Armament is fucking fired up. He said, "To the fucking moon, so many things. I love it. Get them, boys." And then put a little American flag on. A little icing on that cake.
I love the American flag. Pat, are we going to go get those matching tattoos? I don't know why I just thought of
that. My next tattoo appointment is like a couple Saturdays from now.
Nice. So is that a yes?
I'm going to get tattooed one way or the other, Tommy. If you're there and you want to get matching tattoos, I'm in.
Yeah, but do you remember our matching tattoo idea? Right here?
I do. The 2 girls telephone.
No, that's not the one we're doing, asshole. I know. What is Pat and the...
That bearded gamer said, "What is it with Pat and matching tattoos?" Because they're permanent, man. That's how my love runs. My love for Tommy runs permanently. My love for that bearded gamer runs permanently.
Pat, I wasn't going to show anybody this, but I want to show that bearded gamer because, he says I don't love him or something. He's very sensitive. So I want to show him the love that I got for him.
The hollow _unicorn _92 says, "Hey guys," with some rosy red cheeks. Hello, love.
Love. That's a little much.
Is it?
Oh man, I don't think I saved this.
Love.
Pat, I'm going to show everybody this because I wasn't going to show everybody, but I want to.
She said, "I feel left out, but I get Pat. LOL."
Tell me what you guys
with the matching tattoos.
Tell me what you guys think about this once I get it open. Bammo.
Whammo bammo. Look at that, motherfuckers.
Damn, with all the QR codes right there in the bottom, you scan it, come listen to our shit. What's up? Come watch the Bearded Gamer stream some whack ass game that he's been doing. Awesome stuff going on over there.
Speaking of that Bearded Gamer, number 3, Mace Phase. Remind me to tell you, my cousin's in town and he is playing a new game. It's about to come out, but he's playing a demo of it. Dude, it sounds fucking amazing, and I was going to run it by you. He knows that you're a gamer as well, so maybe you could jump on with him. He has a shit ton of followers.
Pat, you ready to get into mail time?
Yeah.
We're taking a long time for this show.
You get Bret Hart, and I get a hashtag wrong heart. Oh my god. I would get the silhouette of him just like, I would get the silhouette. I wouldn't get the detail, but it'd be sweet. Maybe I'll do that. That's fucking good. Mace, I've always wanted to get, you know, the old school Royal Rumble like photo with all the 30 people. I've always wanted to get that as a back piece. Pick my favorite 30 wrestlers of all times and just do it. And now you're just encouraging me. Ooh, the sunglasses is a good idea too, and I'd get them pink on my face.
All right, can we continue with the show instead of talking about fucking wrestling?
Right there, the glasses.
All right, so we got 2 pieces of mail. We didn't do a show on Wednesday because, well, to be honest with you, Tom was drunk at a bar, so we didn't do 2 episodes or an episode on Wednesday. So we got
skipped. I skipped a function that I could have gone to with Tom so that I could rush home because I'm far as fuck from home where I work. I rushed home so we could do the podcast. Didn't go meet Tom because he wanted to get out of there and do the podcast. Then Tom calls me. He's like, "Yeah, we're not doing the podcast. I'm fucking staying at the bar."
Well, no, to be fair, I said, I texted you and said, "Hey, I'm going to be a little late." And you said, "Okay." And I said, "I feel kind of bad leaving the bar." And then a person had bought me a beverage. And I was like, "Well, I can't not drink the beverage. I got to go, or I got to stay." And then I was there till 9:30 at night. So that was
fucked up. Apparently the number 3 was also there. He said it was a good time. Man, I am all like, I'm Andy Samberg out on a fucking lonely island right now.
To be fair, everybody that was somebody was there and you were not. So that tells you where you're at.
Hey, anybody who watches the podcast live or listens to the show, I don't know if you can hear this on your radios. I know I'm getting phone calls from new listeners who are telling me that they're enjoying the show. I'm lifting 2 middle fingers to all of you for making sure that I wasn't fucking there. I was ready to do the fucking podcast to entertain you fucks.
We also had a special guest that was ready to go on the show too, and we kind of fucked that up. So good times. But anyway, so we got 2 pieces of mail.
Editorial we on that shit.
Pat, you're gonna have to read this. Well, I'll try and read them. They're kind of long though. The first one said, "So we want to know who the asshole is." This is fully.
Hold on. Which one is this?
This is the first one that came in from Dip.
No. Which are you the asshole is this? Am I the asshole is this?
None of them. You're gonna, once we read it, you'll understand why.
Okay.
This is a fully loaded question, only because this can go so many different ways. I will begin this journey. Wait, hold on. I have a question. How did you 2 find such a great company to sponsor this podcast? That's a good point. Second Armament Apparel Company, wonderful company to deal with. I mean, you 2 can't even have sound effects work on the show. That's incorrect.
Oh shit.
Anyways, I will move on. Let's get back to the asshole issue. The question is, who's the bigger asshole? Is it Thami or Pat? I can't decide who really is the bigger asshole. I mean, you both meet the criteria. Whoever blocked my emails, and it will forever be the bigger asshole. I don't need to hear your excuses, Thami. Your IT department for this shit show you call a podcast. Again, keep at it, guys. Love the podcast. Dip is the best. First off, I just want to say, you have to learn how to type. It's the number 9 podcast at gmail.com. We found out that you were sending them to the wrong email, which good on you for finally figuring that out. After months of saying that Well, you were emailing us and you weren't. And yeah, good call on the second armament. Dip, I hope you really got some second armament apparel. If you haven't, go to www.secondarmament.com and use code number 9ers at checkout. You get 10% off your order. And then this is the second email they sent in. Pat, I'll let you read this one. It's pretty long.
Okay, this is also from Dip.
Yes.
Forgive me because I can hear myself very clearly about 10 seconds after I say something, so I'm going to be a little choppy. He says, I would like to know what the delay is. Here is my story. Here it is, a bright and early Friday morning as I start my long, hot day. My emotions are high, the excitement building, being able to get away from the day's chaos for just a little while is an enticing idea. I ease into the car. Dip, your fat ass ain't easing into shit, except maybe a fucking cake. Anyways, make sure the AC is kicking in, because I'm fat, and that walk to the car was more than I planned for. Well, all right. Well, you took care of that for me. Sorry about the aggression. I pulled out the trusty old iPhone. I start the search for a new experience, a new episode of Number 9 with Tommy. As the search starts, the disappointment sets in. I realize I can relate to Tommy's wife. I feel like I too was waiting for Tommy to lay 9.5, and I got nothing but disappointment. 3.5 at best. Reruns, nothing new. But wait, it's Friday. Thursdays is when the new episode is to be posted. I search and nothing. Again, nothing. Real disbelief sets in. The feeling of being unsatisfied is a true thing. So I go on with my day. This feeling just won't go away. Being in a relationship is to be 50-50. Not the fans wanting more, and Thami not living up to his promises. Dip. I like that he knew for a fact that it was you. Like, he went all in on this being your fault.
It was my fault. I'm not debating that one bit. But Dip, if you were a true number 9er, you would have searched up that lane 9.5 with Tommy and listened to the new episode that came out on Friday of that show. So,
Yeah, Tom had no problem doing his second show as scheduled. I want to point that out.
Yeah, I don't want to say I had no problem, but I mean, things.
I even said when he bailed on the first show, I said, do you want to do it tomorrow? And he said, oh, I can't because I'm doing my second show, my ancillary product.
Listen, man, it's not easy doing all this stuff, okay? It's not easy trying to do all the stuff that I'm trying to do over here, plus work a full-time job. It's not easy, and I'm trying to have a personal life. I spent my entire day today working on Number 9 with Tommy stuff. So, it's a lot.
Tommy, Number 3 and I have a genius idea that we're going to be working on. And then we're going to deliver you a product that's about 10 to 15% finished so you can see where it's headed. And you're going to shit your britches.
Okay. That's great. I can't wait. So, Dip, as always, geez. We appreciate the feedback. We will get better with putting out 2 shows. There will be a show coming out this Thursday, of course. And there will also, but I'm warning you now, there may not be a show on Sunday. I'm warning you now. When you wake up next week, there may not be a show. Okay. We got that out there. So that concludes mail time. Let's get out of here.
Is it possible to lower the fucking advertisements by like, I don't know, half?
Yeah, I tried to do that, man, and it didn't work. So
Okay.
All right. So now it's time for memes. If you haven't gotten what we're talking about, Pat, do you want to tell them? Since they might not have gotten it from your intro somehow.
We're talking about my high school sweetheart, who I really, we've had a run at each other a few times since high school, but we haven't been nearly as close. Her name, and I love to squeeze her butt, is Mary Jane.
Mary Jane. I wish I had a song.
She's the type of girl who just makes me feel the way I want to feel.
Pat, I don't know where the hell you got this picture from, but it looks like you took it out of a 1980s book. I know it's a meme of some sort.
It was off the. It's what's it called? The internet. It was the
Yeah, but
internet.
it did not come in good.
Facts.
But it's a picture of what they're claiming to be a set of lungs from a marijuana
It's
user.
the lungs of a 10-year-old marijuana user, and it says they're not supposed to be that color. Smoke at your own risk. It is, in fact, a fucking walnut.
Yeah. And the guy at the bottom of his comment says, "This is nuts."
I love it.
Oh, Erica said it looks like a walnut.
That is dead on, Erica.
Our next piece of fun fact is marijuana is not a gateway drug. In fact, it's an exit drug. Most marijuana users never use any other illegal drugs, and new evidence suggests that marijuana can function as an quote-unquote exit drugs, helping people reduce or eliminate their use of more harmful drugs. Very
I put
interesting.
this in there because I know for a fact that this is an accurate piece of information. Marijuana being referenced as an exit drug is something that I have seen work.
True. This is a picture of Michael Phelps.
That is.
It says, "Winners don't smoke weed, champions do." And that's a true story. Good on Michael Phelps. I like that one, Pat.
That should jump us into bad advertising.
Yep, bad advertising. This is the biggest piece of this is hilarious. So it says smoky marijuana. There's
this
a
is an anti-weed campaign slogan, basically.
Yeah, and it says smoky marijuana, and then it has a benefits and a risk. So the benefits: nothing, zero, zilch, nada, none, zip, void, null, diddly, scratch. You want to read the risk, Pat?
The risks are cancer, heart attack, overdose, emphysema, HIV or AIDS, malaria, tuberculosis, influenza, leprosy, and more. And then at the bottom it says, still want to try toking it?
I don't think any one of those you can actually have from smoking weed.
I actually once got AIDS from smoking weed, but when I stopped smoking weed, the AIDS went away, so it was fine.
Yeah. Erica said delay. Well, you're not on Twitch, I don't think. Maybe that's why. Oh. Flip screen. Whoops. This is a wild one.
I assume this is a joke.
There's no way it can't be a joke, and I'm only because Taco Bell was one of the in cooperation with.
Yeah,
it's one of the sponsors. But it says marijuana, the most dangerous drug, and it has a guy shooting a needle into his elbow, not a vein, his fucking elbow. It says 1 out of 10 American teenagers admit they've taken at least one marijuana at least one time in their life. I don't know what taking one marijuana is. That's over 100% more than year 2004. What very few teens know is that even your first marijuana needle can kill you. Yes, if you're taking marijuana needles, they'll probably kill you. And your body will start violently to break down when using the drugs. And then underneath it says, statistics shown that death causes by marijuana increased by 4 times over the past 15 years. And it's very easy to overdose on it, which makes it the most dangerous drug out there. The man in the picture got arrested for possession of marijuana, and 3 months later, after he only took 3 marijuanas, his body already started to break down. And it's one
of the fucking before using meth and after using meth photo.
Yeah, his face is all fucked up. Actually, is that a badge on the guy, or is that just on his shirt?
My favorite part of this whole thing is that it says he got arrested for possession of marijuana, and 3 months later, after he only took 3 marijuanas.
Yeah, what the? I don't know what this 3 marijuanas is.
It's fucking great.
It looks like the picture there on the left. He has a badge on his upper left shoulder.
Yeah, I think it's part of the picture.
Yeah. Funny stuff.
You got a TikTok for us, Tommy?
I sure do. I haven't watched this yet, so let's hope it's pretty entertaining.
Oh, it's fucking great.
Excuse me, have you been smoking any pot today?
No,
Well, you've been stopped here for 15 minutes. Can you tell me why that is?
we're waiting for the stop sign to turn green.
How high are you?
Hi, how are you?
No, I said, how high are you?
Hi, how are you? This cop is so friendly, babe.
Okay, I am going to have to conduct a pot sobriety test.
Oh man, I'm too high for that.
Blow into this?
Hey, is that a breathalyzer?
No. Excuse me. It was-
It's fucking great.
Yeah, that was a good one, Pat. That's like written by someone who does not speak English very well. I think Eric was talking about the last meme or the last advertising there.
Yeah.
So Pat, is this gonna so we're gonna do Am I the Asshole? Right?
Yep.
So I'm gonna record this. We haven't
Do we?
our boy at Second Armament has not picked out a winner for the last one for that sick ass shirt. What was it? That was the Rebel Scum shirt we were gonna give away.
Yeah.
He has yet to pick one. He has a few to pick by. Ryan sent one in. Oh, that Bearded Gamerson. So how does one get AIDS from smoking? That's hilarious. So sure you can. If you are sharing a joint with someone with the flu or leprosy, you can catch contact, I suppose. Okay.
That's not the only thing you can catch a contact of.
Yeah, right. So we haven't selected somebody yet to get the I Am Rebel Scum shirt. He said he has a couple comments. Griff sent it in an email, so by tomorrow we'll have a winner for that. We'll announce it on the next show. We'll tell you what we're giving away on Wednesday as well for the.
Right before you started talking, did you take a big bite of a lemon?
No, I had like some. I'm doing the cinnamon ons, and sometimes I get like a weird tingle in my throat from it.
That's funny. When I do the coffee on, I get fucking hiccups, and it's my favorite one. I do it all the time, and it gives me violent hiccups sometimes.
That sucks. I would never do it again. I hate the fucking hiccups dude, more than anything.
Me too. They bother the shit out of me.
I will tell you this. I've been down in this room all day, and it hasn't been that hot, and now all of a sudden it is hot as fuck down here, and it's really making me
Stage
uncomfortable.
fright? You nervous?
No, it's really making me fucking uncomfortable though. That it's so fucking like I'm about to start sweating. I hope I'm not getting sick. Jeez. Anyway, so we're gonna do Am I the Asshole? I'm gonna try and read it because Pat says he has an echo in his headset, which we don't understand why, but here we are. So am I the asshole for smoking weed on my deck? So my girlfriend and I moved in together a few months ago. We are regular pot smokers living in a legal state. It's like a glass of wine at the end of the day for us. When we moved in, we told our landlords we smoke, and they told us to not to smoke inside, but instead outside on the patio. In the winter, we tend to lean towards edibles, but now that it's been getting warmer, we've been smoking on the deck. Tonight we were smoking out on the deck when I overheard our neighbor from the window up and diagonal from us. It's close, but it's definitely not next to us or above us. They had their window open. They were talking to somebody loudly about how it's the second night in a row. I saw them look at us through their window, and when I looked back, they quickly pulled back. They then proceeded to cough for a while loudly. I don't know if it's passively aggressive, but that's how it looks. Part of me sees their point. If we were someone that didn't like the smell of weed, I might be upset if I couldn't have my window open without the smell coming in the summer. On the other hand, it's a legal state. I can't smoke inside, and I feel it's my deck, and I should be able to smoke what I want. I'm more mad at the fact that they didn't just talk to us. I'd be totally willing to have a conversation and work something out. So am I the asshole? Yeah, I should have recorded that. Since
I didn't want to stop you, but I was thinking the same thing. Like, we need to put this on the internet, bro.
fuck, more work. I can figure that out. Pat, do you think they're the asshole?
No, for like a plethora of reasons. One, they were upfront about them smoking weed. Landlord said it was cool. All right, so now you have their blessing. Two, the neighbor who is silently angry or passive aggressively angry. Like if you have a problem, say something. If you don't say something, you can't expect what's going on to change. Uh, so I think a clear line of communication would prevent anybody from being the asshole. And if you have a problem and you're not willing to communicate it, then you are in fact the asshole. I mean, that's childish. It's juvenile. Like, just fucking say how you're feeling, man. You don't have to be a fucking douchebag about it. Just be like, hey, I hate the smell of that shit. Can you go on the other side of the house? Or hey, can you text me when you're about to smoke and I'll shut this window? And then can you text me when you're done and I'll open the window back up? Really, anything would be better than nothing.
Yeah, there's a million different ways to get around this, especially since they're in a legal state and they were up front with the landlord. Not that the landlord I'm sure can't say that they can't live there because they smoke weed. You know what I mean? But they were up front. I assume the landlord had a conversation with the people that live up there. Me being a person that absolutely hates the smell of marijuana, I get it, but at the same time, yeah, just have a conversation. Don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
Especially being passive. Like, I don't understand people, dude. I went to a wedding last night, Pat, and I had a big, long discussion with an older gentleman who was in his 60s about how much we hate people. And it really, like, I sound like a fucking asshole, but I hate people. They're just assholes.
Well, if it walks like a duck and it sounds like a duck, you're probably an asshole.
Yeah. All right, Pat. So 3-finger news, the meat and potatoes of the show. Let's go.
Woo! This is going to be awesome with a fucking wicked echo in my ear. Here we go. Tom.
Don't start going yet.
Our new... What's that?
Don't start going yet.
Blah, 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 blah. Phobic Squirrel says, I hate when people try to surprise me at my own home. Erica said, I hate the smell and am non-confrontational, so I would close my window in the evening. That seems like a reasonable fucking thing to do. That bearded gamer says, wow, Tom B similar to a curmudgeonly old man. I'm shocked.
The reason
Tom's best friends with a bunch of fucking geriatric patients.
That's fucked up, man. The guy that I was having a conversation with was about to bang out with a fucking 30-year-old because the 30-year-old was talking shit to him last night.
Was this at your bingo league or was this your cribbage night? Which one was it?
Yo, Tim, man, he's talking mad shit about your favorite old neighbors. Just saying.
My favorite old neighbors?
No, Tim's favorite old neighbors.
Oh.
Tim said that he hates when people show up at his house and surprise him in his own house because I wasn't going to tell him that I was going to see him this weekend coming up. And I broke down a couple weeks ago and told him. So.
You ruined the surprise.
Yeah, I mean, I felt bad. He does hate people surprising him. So, while I think he would have been happy that I was there, he would have been probably pissed off at the same time. So, I told him. Anyway, let's get into this.
Hold on. Mason, before we move on, said, you ever see the video of the old man thrown down with a bunch of young guys on a bus? That's my kind of old man. I assume he's talking to the one that's on ujiz.com. He's throwing down with a bunch of young guys on a bus, and that's Mason's kind of old man.
Cool.
He likes the wrinkly balls. Is that the guy with the old balls? Yeah, we can't say that anymore. No, I don't know. Testicles. Ladies and gentlemen, in nothing but a tank top and a pair of underoos, Miss Elizabeth.
All right. Let's get into 3-finger news, Pat.
How do you feel? No, we need to have this conversation. While they're extremely appetizing, she's got on Christmas underwear. Like, she's sexy as fuck, don't get me wrong. And she makes me want to open something. It's her legs. Oh, I am in so much trouble right now. I'm just asking. I was very complimentary. It's very complimentary.
Yeah, anytime you want to get back to the show, that'd be fucking great.
I love you, Boo Boo. She said, make sure you go play a video game after this. Not great. That bearded gamer said no, it was some old retired vet that beat up like 6 youths. I like it.
6 Utes. The 6 what?
Utes, Yana.
The Utes. All right, Pat, let's go.
Okay.
If you could be
Trying to make
ready.
this echo as little as possible. What?
All right, let's go. Jesus.
Yeah. Marijuana. By definition, cannabis, especially as smoked or consumed as a psychoactive or mind-altering drug. Cannabis-based products come from the dried flowering tops, leaves, stems, and seeds of the cannabis sativa hemp plant. THC appears to affect the areas of the brain that control memory and attention, balance, posture, coordination, and reaction time. Due to these effects, a person should not drive a car, operate heavy machinery, or engage in risky physical activities after using cannabis. THC stimulates specific cannabinoid receptors that increase the release of dopamine. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that relates to feelings of pleasure. THC can also affect sensory perception. Colors may seem brighter, music more vivid, and emotions more profound. I'd like to add to this definition, and food more tasty. What does a person feel? That would be when they're using cannabis. When people use cannabis, they may notice the following effects: a feeling of elation or euphoria, known as high; relaxation, changes in perception, for example, of color, time, or space; an increase in appetite, facts, or feeling more talkative. That I cannot follow, but I have seen it. I've bore witness to this. Now, I wanted to do a little history on marijuana, now that we've talked about what it is, for anybody who is unfamiliar. Marijuana has a long history of human use. Many ancient cultures didn't grow the plant to get high, but as herbal medicine. Likely starting in Asia around 500 BC. The history of cannabis cultivation in America dates back to the early colonists who grew hemp for textiles and rope. Political and racial factors in the 20th century led to the criminalization of marijuana in the United States, though its legal status is changing in many places. So let's do a little timeline here. From about 500 BC to the 20th century, weed was used as a tool. It was used for textiles. It was used for rope. It was used with medical purposes. And then in the 20th century, we criminalized it. We're going to get to that. The ways of using it include smoking it or vaping it, brewing it as a tea, consuming it in the form of edibles such as brownies or candies, eating it raw, like Old Dirty Bastard, applying it as a topical treatment, or taking it as capsules or supplements. Some of the ingredients in cannabis are psychoactive or mind-altering, but others are not. The potency and balance of the ingredients vary depending on how the manufacturer grows and processes the plant. There are different ways of using cannabis, and the method can determine the effects of the drug. So basically, smoking or inhaling gives you a sense of elation that can start within minutes and peak 10 to 30 minutes after smoking. Typically wears off after about 2 hours, or in my case, when you wake up from your nap.
Or in my case, the next day.
It's just forever. It lasts forever. I don't know why.
It really does, man. I fucking hate getting high.
Ingesting. If a person consumes products containing cannabis by mouth, they will usually feel the effects within 1 hour, and the sensations will peak after 2.5 to 3.5 hours. One study suggests that the type of edible affects the time it takes to feel the effect, with hard candies kicking in quicker. Interesting. Topical, as in like transdermal patches, allow the ingredients to enter the body over prolonged periods. This steady infusion can benefit people who are using cannabis to treat pain and inflammation. Remember, as we go through this is the thing that we criminalize. In the 1830s, Sir William Brooke O'Shaughnessy Oshag Hennessy. An Irish doctor studying in India found that cannabis extracts could help lessen stomach pain and vomiting in people suffering from cholera. By the late 1800s, cannabis extracts were sold in pharmacies and doctors' offices throughout Europe and the United States to treat stomach problems and other ailments. Scientists later discovered that THC was the source of marijuana's medicinal properties. As the psychoactive compound responsible for marijuana's mind-altering effects, THC also interacts with the areas of the brain that are able to lessen nausea and promote hunger. In fact, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has approved 2 drugs with THC that are prescribed in pill form, Marinol and Syndrose, to treat nausea caused by cancer chemotherapy and loss of appetite in AIDS patients. Let's keep in mind, this is the thing that we criminalized.
That bearded gamer said made illegal by the same government that used cocaine and other hard drugs to target and sell to people in the inner cities.
Oh, Mason, we're in the same car. You're just holding down the gas pedal harder. We'll get there. We'll get there. It's coming. Recreational weed. An ancient Greek historian named Herodotus described the Scythians, a large group of Iranian nomads in Central Asia, inhaling the smoke from smoldering cannabis seeds and flowers to get high. Hashish, a purified form of cannabis smoked with a pipe, was widely used throughout the Middle East and parts of Asia after about 800 AD. Its rise in popularity corresponds with the spread of Islam in the region. The Quran forbid the use of alcohol and some other intoxicating substances, but did not specifically prohibit cannabis. If you've ever seen American History X and the dude smoking weed at the neo-Nazi rally and Edward Norton refers to it as the black people's drug, that's why, right there. Because the people who studied Islam were able to use it when they weren't able to use other things. In the United States, marijuana wasn't widely used for recreational purposes until the early 1900s. Immigrants from Mexico to the United States during the tumultuous years of the Mexican Revolution introduced the recreational practice of smoking marijuana to American culture. Massive unemployment and social unrest during the Great Depression stoked resentment of Mexican immigrants and public fear of the evil weed. As a result, and consistent with the Prohibition era's view of all intoxicants, 29 states outlawed cannabis by 1931. Remember, they outlawed booze as well. That's important to this story. The Marijuana Tax Act. Did you know about this, Tom? I never knew there was a Marijuana Tax Act.
I had no idea.
What's that?
No idea.
Okay. So the Marijuana Tax Act of 1937 was the first federal U.S. law to criminalize marijuana nationwide. The act imposed an excise tax on the sale, possession, or transfer of all hemp products, effectively criminalizing all but industrial uses of the plant. Marijuana legalization. As part of the War on Drugs, the Controlled Substances Act of 1970, signed into law by President Richard Nixon, repealed the Marijuana Tax Act and listed marijuana as a Schedule I drug, along with heroin, LSD, and ecstasy, with no medical uses and a high potential for abuse. It was identified in anti-drug programs like DARE, the Drug Abuse Resistance Education, as a gateway drug, which we've already dispelled. We've already figured out that this is an exit drug, not a gateway drug. In 1972, a report from the National Commission on Marijuana and Drug Abuse, also known as the Schaefer Commission, released a report titled Marijuana, a Signal of Misunderstanding. The report recommended partial prohibition and lower penalties for possession of small amounts of marijuana. Nixon and other government officials, however, ignored the report's findings. Shocking. Shocking that a politician did not do what science was saying was the right thing. California. In the Compassionate Use Act of 1996, this is about 24 years later, became the first state to legalize marijuana for medical use by people with severe or chronic illness. Washington, D.C., 29 states, and the U.S. territories of Guam and Puerto Rico allow the use of cannabis for limited medical purposes. As of June 2019, 11 states and Washington, D.C. have legalized marijuana for recreational use. Colorado and Washington became the first states to do so in 2012. Adults also can light up without a doctor's prescription in Alaska, California, Illinois, Maine, Massachusetts, Michigan, Nevada, Vermont, and Oregon.
You should also include Connecticut.
Facts. Why cover pot on Three Finger News? Why did we make this our first off? I was going to do guns, but with Second Armament as our sponsor and us fairly frequently backing the Second Amendment, I thought that's kind of on point, right? Like let's do something a little bit off. We're not big pot guys, so I figured that was a better one to go with.
Yeah, we're not big pot guys. Not that we not that we have a problem with people doing it. Just
right. Yeah. No, that's my point. Like it's
not our thing.
We're in support of whatever, but we're not actively smoking pot on the show all day, every day.
But that could change.
Rise in recreational drug. What's that?
But that could change.
It could.
It won't. But
a rise in recreational drug use in the 1960s likely led to President Nixon's focus on targeting some types of substance abuse. As part of the War on Drugs initiative, Nixon increased federal funding for drug control agencies and proposed strict measures such as mandatory prison sentencing for drug crimes. He also announced the creation of the Special Action Office for Drug Abuse Prevention, the SAODAP, which was headed by Dr. Jerome Jaffe. Nixon went on to create the Drug Enforcement Agency, the DEA, in 1973. If you've ever wondered how long the DEA has been around, since Nixon. This agency is a special police force committed to targeting illegal drug use and smuggling in the United States. At the start, the DEA was given 1,470 special agents and a budget of less than $75 million. Today, the agency has nearly 5,000 and a budget of $2.03 billion. All the drugs that we have, and they're spending $2 billion a year to stop this shit. Jeez. Like you could just drive down the road and like they got drugs. Like you know where they are. So here's the interesting part. This is what Mason was referring to.
Oh boy.
Oh. Mason said you should have smoked before this episode. Facts. Ulterior motives behind the war on drugs. During a 1994 interview, President Nixon's domestic policy chief, John, hold on, I had this earlier. Ehrlichman, I think, provided inside information suggesting that the war on drugs campaign had ulterior motives, which mainly involved helping Nixon keep his job. Let us not forget the hot water that Nixon was in with Watergate and everything. In the interview, conducted by journalist Dan Baum and published in Harper Magazine, Ehrlichman explained that the Nixon campaign had two enemies. It was the anti-war left and black people. His comments led many to question Nixon's intentions in advocating for drug reform and whether racism played a role. Ehrlichman was quoted as saying, "We knew we couldn't make it illegal to be against the war or to be against blacks. But by getting the public to associate the hippies with marijuana and blacks with heroin, and then criminalizing both heavily, we could disrupt these communities. We could arrest their leaders, raid their homes, break up their meetings, and vilify them night after night on the evening news. Did we know that they were lying about the drugs on the evening news? Of course we did." How you going so far, Tommy?
Fucking hippies.
The 1970s and the war on drugs. In the mid-1970s, the war on drugs took a slight hiatus between 73 and 77. 11 states decriminalized marijuana possession. Jimmy Carter became president in 1977 after running on a political campaign to decriminalize marijuana. During his first year in office, the Senate Judiciary Committee voted to decriminalize up to 1 ounce of marijuana. Say no to drugs. In the 1980s, President Ronald Reagan reinforced and expanded many of Nixon's war on drug policies. In 1984, his wife Nancy launched the Just Say No campaign, which was intended to highlight the dangers of drug use. We all remember Just Say No. President Reagan's refocus on drugs and the passing of severe penalties for drug-related crimes in Congress and state legislatures led to a massive increase in incarcerations for non-violent drug crimes. In 1986, Congress passed the Anti-Drug Abuse Act, which established mandatory minimum prison sentences for certain drug offenses. This law was later heavily criticized as having racist ramifications because it allocated longer prison sentences for offenses involving the same amount of crack cocaine, which was used more often by Black Americans, as powder cocaine, which was used more often by white Americans. Are you ready for this, Tom? The black drug, crack, 5 grams of crack triggered an automatic 5-year sentence. The powdered version of the exact same drug, 500 grams of powdered cocaine, merited the same sentence. Critics also pointed to data showing that people of color were targeted and arrested on suspicion of drug use at higher rates than whites. Overall, the policies led to a rapid rise in incarcerations for nonviolent drug offenses from 50,000 in 1980 to 400,000 in 1997. That's 8 fucking times, 800% more. In 2014, nearly half of the 186,000 people serving time in federal prisons in the United States had been incarcerated on drug-related charges. Okay. We're done with why that shit got criminalized. Since it's been decriminalized in certain areas, states collected more than $3.7 billion in recreational marijuana tax in 2021. 1 year, $3.7 billion. Here's a breakdown of the 2021 recreational marijuana tax revenue for each adult use state. We're going to skip some of these. It goes from low. Alaska brought in $28.9 million, and Washington brought in $630.8 million. All the other states fall in between those two. Actually, Alaska is the only one that brought in less than $150 million. Oh, Jesus. California brought in $1.2 billion, almost $1.3 billion. Year by year figures for adult use. Oh, yeah. Okay. So this is collectively. In 2014, $68.5 million in tax revenue for legal marijuana. It goes up every year pretty quickly. In 2021, $3.71 billion in just the annual tax revenue from marijuana. The report also describes different ways that states are distributing cannabis revenue for various programs and initiatives, including community reinvestments that are meant to support those most impacted by the criminalization. In a more recent allocation, Michigan officials announced last month that they will be distributing nearly $150 million in marijuana tax revenue divided between localities, public schools, and a transportation fund. Massachusetts is collecting more tax revenue from marijuana than alcohol. As of December 2021, the state took in $51 million from alcohol and $74.2 million from cannabis at the halfway point of the fiscal year. Hey, that means they could also criminalize alcohol because that actually has fucking problems. Illinois saw cannabis beat out booze for the first time last year. The state collected about $100 million more from adult use marijuana than alcohol in 2021. That state is dedicating portions of tax revenue to mental health services, as well as local organizations developing programs that benefit disadvantaged communities. California, their officials announced in June that they were awarding about $29 million in grants funded by marijuana tax revenue to 58 nonprofit organizations with the intent of righting the wrongs of the war on drugs. The state collected about $817 million in adult use marijuana tax revenue during the 2020-2021 fiscal year. That's 55% more cannabis earnings for state coffers than was generated the previous fiscal year. In Colorado, nearly $500 million of cannabis tax revenue has supported the state's public school system that brought in a record $423 million in marijuana tax dollars last year. That's our story on pot, Tommy. What do you think of it?
So, Pat, I don't know a lot about crack or cocaine. I know that they both fuck you up pretty good. I was trying to research to see if there was, because obviously crack is cocaine's a powdered substance.
Rock.
Crack is a rock that you then smoke, and it gives you a different high than what cocaine would give you.
Correct.
But what I was interested in is how many, because you said it had to be 500 grams to get 5 years for powdered cocaine, and only 5 grams of crack to get you an automatic 5 years in prison. First off, you're rolling around
Right.
5 grams of crack, dude. It's a little bit under. It's a little over an eighth. It's like almost an eighth and a half.
Just look up the cost. What's 5 grams of crack cost versus 500 grams of coke?
Well, I think it's a huge difference, but I was trying to see if there was going to be like if there was 100 grams of cocaine and 1 gram of crack. That no way it's the case because 3.5 grams is an eighth. There's 28 grams in an ounce. I mean, that's a lot of coke to get 5 years.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fucking coke.
Yeah, so
That's like,
basically, if you are using the more common black version of the drug, you're fucked.
Well, let's break it down, right? If you it's a half a kilo.
That bearded gamer said, "What's it cost, Pat? Your life. That's what it costs."
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I was in some Reddit things there looking for that, and there was some funny shit in there. Yeah. I think it's clear to say that the war on drugs wasn't a good thing. I think it's clear to say that marijuana should be legal all over the place, and the amount of tax dollars that it's bringing in is fucking crazy.
Not just the amount of revenue, but look at what they're doing with it. I mean, they're funding public schools, they're funding public transportation, they're doing things that need to be done. They're putting in playgrounds, they're putting in, they're cleaning up state parks. They're doing great shit with this revenue.
Well,
it's found money. We weren't making it before. We are making it now. Let's do the shit we haven't been doing.
Yeah, or let's lower in Connecticut, I would love to see that abolish the fucking income tax. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Why not?
Let's help people while other people are getting what they want legally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know in Connecticut you can grow up to a certain amount of pot plants too at your house, and it's not illegal. Yeah, I think pot should be legal everywhere. It's like
on
you
the
said,
end of this is how I want to wrap this up on a weekly basis. I call it a pen for your thoughts. It's like a penny for your thoughts, but I actually want an email.
Okay.
So I have 6 questions. Erica said cleaning up the drug-infested parks. That is correct. We spent $1 million cleaning up the empty bags of weed from stoners.
Yes. Don't forget about those hair-on needles. You know what, man? Somebody brought up something very interesting to me the other day, and it kind of touched on this a little bit. And I never looked at it like this until I heard somebody say it. But heroin was a big thing in the 70s for the blacks, right?
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's a big thing for white people, and mainly because they get hooked on some sort of pill and then they turn to heroin. And now it's a fucking...
Yeah, it's really about pain management.
Yeah, and now it's a fucking epidemic. You know what I mean? Where they're like, oh my God, we need to do something about this, blah, blah, blah. And it really makes you think about, like, nobody give a fuck about heroin when the blacks were doing it, but now all of a sudden a bunch of white people are doing it. We got to stop it. It's fucking crazy.
Now we got a name for it. Now it's an epidemic.
Yeah. It's fucking crazy. Like, I never really thought of... And I'm not a guy that looks at things black and white, but I look at things the way they are. Now, listen, I wasn't alive in the 70s. I couldn't tell you the fucking first thing about what was happening. But based off that, and based off what I know now, like, it's glaringly obvious in the 70s, they didn't give a fuck. And it's glaringly obvious now that we actually do give a fuck. Now, listen, I don't give a fuck if you're black, purple, white, orange, green, fucking yellow. It doesn't matter. If you're doing heroin, it's bad. If you're... I really don't care if you do coke. Whatever. I don't think you're gonna die from coke.
You certainly can.
Can you? I don't.
Yeah, you can overdose on coke, bro.
Can you?
I'm pretty sure you could also have a heart attack from getting high on coke as well.
Well, I'm sure you can. But again, I'm also not a big
Plus,
guy that
nosebleeds. That's uncomfortable.
I'm also not a big guy that believes that there should be any sort, like, if you, whatever you want to do to your body is what you want to do to your body. As long as you're over the age of 18, fucking have at it, dude. Do some drugs. Fuck it. If you overdose and die, that's on you.
You're headed towards my wrap up.
Oh, okay.
So I have 6 questions. I implore all of the number 9ers to email in and answer any one or all 6 of the questions. Skip whichever one you don't want to answer. We don't care. We want your feedback. Question number 1. Are you, in fact, a recreational, experimental, or habitual user of marijuana? Number 2. Do you have any funny stories about getting high? We'd like to hear them.
I have a hilarious story. I'll tell you after do all these questions. I have 2 of them.
Number 3. Do you believe that pot or other drugs should be federally decriminalized? Number 4. This is a 3-part question. Part A. Prior to listening to this week's Three Finger News, did you believe in the concept of systemic racism? Part B. Did this help you understand systemic racism or convince you that it's even a realistic concept? Oh, there's not a part C. Sorry, that was a 2-part question. So, did you and do you believe in systemic racism based on this coverage? Number 5. Where do you believe the money and tax revenue generated by marijuana should go? What's your idea? Where should we put that money? Number 6. In this form, this long form, where hopefully Tommy and I can go back and forth a little bit and I don't have to read the whole fucking thing. Maybe Tommy will jump in.
Not gonna happen.
Is there another topic you would like us to cover? I can tell you I already have another topic that's almost done. And the odds of you picking that one are very fucking slim. So don't worry about that. I want to know, is there a topic that you want us to go long form on other than pot? We're not doing pot a second time. And the next one I have is going to be a fucking thrill ride. The memes are the best memes I've ever seen.
All right, so we got 2 things. Unique or holographic unicorn, or whatever the hell she's calling herself these days, said, pretty sure it depends on what it could potentially be cut with, though. Crack, she's talking about. And that bitter gamer said, in the 1980s, it's been said that the CIA was funding the trafficking of crack cocaine to sell to inner city people, namely African Americans in California. This was during the quote-unquote war on drugs. It's known as the Contra cocaine trafficking or the big white lie. I think you've watched too many episodes of, well, I'm sure it was happening, but I think you watched 1 too many episodes of, what's it called? The show on Amazon there that I was talking, The Boys. I think you watched 1 too many episodes.
Oh, is that what that's about?
There's a part in it in the last season that hits on that.
Yeah, no. I mean, we have definitely heard that the government flooded the streets with not only the hard drugs, which they would then put people in prison for. They also flooded the streets with weapons, because nothing goes with crack like fucking firearms.
This is what I'm saying, Pat.
That's
it's
a
time for a
terrible
revolution. It's time for us to overthrow the government. I actually had a talk with somebody last night about this, and I'm not going to say that he was on my side with this, but he totally understood what the fuck I was saying. He said, yeah, you're not wrong, but you're not right. But you're not wrong.
Tommy, we have a game, not the next episode, which is the 312 episode, but in the next episode where we go long form on a topic that I am not willing to reveal right now. We have a game that
Pat can't hear the sound effects for some reason, but you guys can.
I can't.
Hilarious.
What was the sound effect?
It was a buzzer going, eh.
Did you buzz me or you?
You.
Why'd you buzz me?
I don't know. You said we had a game, so I just hit the buzzer.
Okay, I get that. I see you hitting a button, but I don't know what that sound effect is.
It was a ding ding, like it was right.
Oh, okay. Tommy, we're going to have a game on that episode. So the episode a week from today that you're going to love because of your stance on a revolution.
Okay. Okay, I'm all about it. I was in the middle of a rant, and then he cut me off to tell those 6 questions. Oh, you wanted to hear a funny weed story?
Yeah.
So I got 2 of them. One, when I was in high school, we were going on a field trip to the Air Museum and the auto shop for some reason. We were going there up at Bradley. That beer gamer said they surely talk about it in The Boys, but it wasn't made up for the show. It's a true thing that happened. Okay, you say so. I don't know. I'm not debating that. I have no idea. As Erica said to me in the past, I have no opinion on the matter. So we were in high school, right? We're going to the Air Museum up at Bradley, and we all decided that we were going to get high beforehand. So we bought a blunt, and we didn't cut it to roll a blunt, right? What we did was we just emptied the guts, and then we packed an eighth into this blunt, and we smoked it before school. I got super fucking high, right? Obviously, I don't smoke weed. So I get super fucking high, and I'm in homeroom in the auto shop, and we used to sell sodas, and I got cotton mouth like a motherfucker, but I also have a super upset stomach, right? So I go over, and I buy one of these sodas, and I'm drinking it. It was grape soda. And I take a sip of it, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to yak. I go to the bathroom to yak. I can't yak, right? So I go sit down at my desk again, high as shit. Take another sip of my soda, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to yak. I get up to go to the bathroom, and I fucking yak all over the shop. Right? So I cleaned it up, and the teacher's like, dude, you all right? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And everybody that I was with was like, oh my God, dude, we're going to get so, like, he's going to fucking rat us out. Oh my God. I don't tell anybody, dude. I was high all motherfucking day, dude. It was so bad. So fucking bad. So this other time, we're at the house, and Tiffany used to smoke a lot when we were younger. So we were with a bunch of her friends with good old Nate Dogg. You remember Nate Dogg?
Nate Dogg?
And his cousins and shit. So we're all in the garage, we smoke, and I get high as fuck, and I get hit with the giggles, dude. Right? And I'm fucking, dude, these motherfuckers, nothing funny is even being said, but I'm laughing for like a good 15 minutes straight, right? Like, and I can't stop, dude. I can barely catch my breath. I'm gonna fucking die. I'm laughing so hard. So finally, I get it together and we go inside, and they're all in the living room watching TV or something, and I'm standing there, and dude, I thought I was up for like, I thought it was like midnight, right? Like we smoked at 8. I thought it was like midnight. And I look at the clock. It's like 8:30. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what the fuck? Again, I hate being high. And I was like, fuck this shit. I'm going to bed. And I just went fucking passed out. Like, oh man. So that's pretty much what ruined it for me. Another time, I hung out with a lot of fucking potheads when I was in school, right? But I never smoked. And they all knew, like, I hung out with them, but they knew I didn't smoke. And we're at this kid's house before I was going to work one day. Like, I didn't have to be at work till 4 or something like that. And we got out of school at like 2:30. So I was hanging out with them. And we're at this kid's house, and they're packing a bong. And I don't know, like, I've never smoked out of a bong. So they're like, hey, Tom, just hold the bong. So I'm sitting there holding it, I'm talking to somebody, and I'm not paying attention. And I start leaning the bong. Well, the bong water goes fucking all over my pants, dude. And it fucking stinks. And I'm like, I'm fucked, dude. I have to go to work like this. So I walk in to work, and I worked at Rite Aid at the time. And I walk in, I go to my boss, I said, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I was hanging out with my boys. They were smoking a bong. I wasn't smoking. I spilled the bong water on my shoes. You fucking reek. And I was like, sorry. And she was like, whatever. I'm not fucking staying. You're good to work. And I fucking had to work my whole shift with bong water all over my fucking pants. It was bad.
Fucking gross.
Yeah, it was.
Tom, this is true. This is when I quit smoking weed the first time. This is why. I'm sitting at my buddy's house. And there's like, I don't know, 6 or 8 of us. The same crew. We hung out all the time. We were playing poker all the time. It was right after high school. A lot of poker. We were on, it was like an outdoor patio, but it was part of the house. If that, like, it was glassed in, you know?
Yeah, like a sunroom.
And I had to piss. Like, I had to piss so bad. So I get up and I go into the bathroom. I'm standing there just waiting to piss for an eternity. I'm just standing there. I'm like, I know how bad I have to piss. I'm not going to go sit back down. Why would I go sit back down? Because I know I'm just going to have to get back up and take a piss. So I'm just standing there forever. And I finally come out of the bathroom and I don't piss. I like, there's a couple drops. And I come out of the bathroom and I'm looking at this group of dudes and they're looking at me. and they can see like I'm visibly frustrated. And one of them's like, "Bro, what's wrong?" And I'm like, "I can't fucking piss. Like I just stood there dude, I have to pee so bad, and I can't fucking piss." And they just start fucking dying. All of them are in like hysterical, and I'm like, I have no clue what the fucking joke here is. I know it's me. I don't know what I did. So when they fucking calm down, one of them's like, "Let me tell you what you just did, bro. You fucking got up, went into the bathroom, took a piss, turned around, came out, sat down, immediately stood back up, walked back into the bathroom, and you were in there forever. And we were wondering what the fuck you were doing." I was so high that I tried to piss twice. And I was like, "I'm not smoking anymore, guys."
That's fucking awesome.
Ugh,
It's fucking
it's
great.
awful.
Erica said 15 minutes. That's nothing. LOL with a bunch of crying faces. This is why I don't smoke, guys. This is 100% the reason why I don't smoke weed. I've
Yeah, I'm bad at
never.
being high. I don't like that shit.
Yeah, I really. Part of me wishes that I liked being high because it seems like a good time. You know what I mean? Like I would be a casual smoker, if I liked smoking, like I am a casual drinker. You know what I mean? I'm a very casual drinker. I don't drink a lot. But I like to drink sometimes to have a good time. But yeah.
Too, like I'm always in a very positive place. I don't need mind altering substances. I don't need the alcohol. I don't need the pot. I just am really happy for like 99% of the time. I don't need to fuck with that.
Yeah. So
Fucking cat is in heaven right
it happens.
now.
I hate cats. All right, man, you ready to get out of here?
You were petting this cat earlier. I saw you petting this cat.
I like just kind of pet it a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, hey, get away from me. Damn, yo, it's 9 o'clock. We gotta get the fuck out of here. Hey guys,
Thanks.
make sure you listen to this episode. Make sure you go download Lane 9.5 with Tommy. Make sure you check out Second Armament Apparel Company, secondarmament.com. Use code number 9ers at checkout. Get 10% off for your order. You're going to see us at the Goshen Fair. You're going to see us at the Riverton Fair. You're going to see us at the Harrington Fair. And there's one more fair that we might be getting into. And it would be fucking awesome if we did. A lot of good stuff coming here. A lot of hard work these next few weeks. But it's going to be fucking great. Super excited about it. I'm super motivated. I've been yawning for like the last 20 minutes, so I'm ready to go to bed. Pat?
Number 9ers, I say good day. It's Friday.